Kenya's history is intertwined with the struggles against imperialism, colonialism, and landlordism. By 1902, the British government, in a perplexing move, declared Kenya a white man's country, while simultaneously expressing philanthropic intentions towards European Jews. This led to the arbitrary donation of part of the Kenya highlands to the Zionist movement, stirring controversy and anti-Semitism. The idea of settling Jews in Kenya originated not with the Zionists themselves, but with the colonial secretary, J. Chamberlain. Chamberlain was an ardent colonialist who even regarded colonial wars as a necessity for maintaining the economic and prestige of the British Empire. After negotiations between the British government and representatives of the Zionist movement, a significant portion of land in the Kenya highlands was offered to create an autonomous state for European Jews with self-government and religious freedom. As we explore the roots of the Zionist project in Kenya, it's essential to understand the ambitious vision that lay at its core. The British government, under the direction of Colonial Secretary J. Chamberlain, offered a substantial portion of the Kenya highlands to the newly formed Zionist organization in 1903. This offer came with a grand proposal: the creation of an autonomous state for European Jews. The envisioned state was intended to be more than just a settlement. It was designed to be a self-governing entity with distinctive characteristics, reflecting the values, customs, and traditions of the Jewish people. Key elements of this vision included a local self-government. The proposed state was to have a local self-government structure. This meant that the Jewish inhabitants would have the authority to govern themselves locally, managing internal affairs and community matters independently. A Jewish governor. The leadership structure included the appointment of a Jewish governor. This figure would represent the interests of the Jewish population and oversee the governance of the autonomous state, providing a level of self-determination. Religious and social freedom. A fundamental aspect of the envisioned state was the assurance of complete religious and social freedom. The Jewish inhabitants were to have the autonomy to practice their customs, adhere to their laws, and uphold traditional beliefs without external interference. Control over immigration and administration. The Zionist organization demanded significant control over crucial aspects of governance. This included the authority to manage immigration policies, internal administration, taxation, and the appointment of local officials and judges. Theodor Herzl and other Zionist leaders embraced this offer as a stepping stone toward their ultimate goal: the restoration of the Jewish people to Palestine. The acceptance of the offer was not only a practical consideration, but also a strategic move to secure a foothold in East Africa while working towards the broader vision of a Jewish homeland. Despite the initial acceptance of the offer by Zionist leaders, the project faced opposition on multiple fronts. European settlers, led by Lord Delamere, vehemently protested against settling Jews in Kenya. The settlers formed a committee to combat the scheme, and Lord Delamere, president of the Planters and Farmers Association, even cabled the London Times expressing his objections. Lord Delamere's anti-Semitic stance and the publication of a pamphlet summarizing settlers' objections by himself showcased the depth of opposition. Some Zionist groups themselves criticized the project as divisive and a dangerous diversion from their primary objective, the Jewish restoration in Palestine. The failure of the Zionist project can also be attributed to the expedition sent to Kenya in 1903. The expedition was a pivotal moment in the unfolding drama. After the British government officially offered a significant portion of the Kenya highlands to the Zionist organization, the Zionists were eager to inspect the promised land. An expedition led by representatives of the Zionist movement, was dispatched to Kenya to examine the feasibility of establishing a Jewish homeland. The investigators spent 3 days in the Uasin Gishu Plateau, meticulously evaluating the proposed settlement area. Their report, however, painted a discouraging picture, deeming the district as unsuitable for the envisioned settlement. This assessment became a critical factor in the subsequent unraveling of the Zionist project. But let's critically examine this conclusion. The thing is, some have questioned the validity of the investigators' claim. Many, for example, the Boers who trekked from Mombasa to Uasin Gishu Plateau, regarded the area as a paradise with a climate reminiscent of the South African High Veld. This discrepancy raises doubts about the accuracy of the evaluation and leaves us to ponder whether the 2 British settlers chosen to escort the Jewish expedition might have influenced the perception of the area. Moreover, the brief 3-day exploration raises eyebrows. Some historical records suggest that, except for the Jewish investigators, no other groups had described the area as entirely unsuitable for settlement. The conflicting accounts and the seemingly hasty conclusion of the expedition add layers of complexity to the narrative. This failed expedition became a linchpin in the overall failure of the Zionist project. The seemingly abrupt dismissal of the proposed land as unsuitable fueled the opposition from various quarters, including those who were already critical of the Zionist initiative. The settlers and anti-Zionist groups seized on this assessment to further their objections, portraying the venture as ill-conceived and impractical. In the end, the failed expedition not only cast doubt on the viability of the proposed settlement, but also fueled controversies and debates that intensified the opposition to the Zionist project in Kenya. This episode highlights the intricate nature of historical events, where a single expedition's outcome can shape the course of significant geopolitical endeavors. Another intriguing aspect of the Zionist project was the contradiction it presented to the values of the Zionist movement. By accepting lands stolen from Africans, the Zionists would have contradicted their own national values. For instance, they accused the imperialist Romans of expelling them from their lands. Yet here they were, about to accept land taken by force from Africans. This contradiction highlights the complexities and controversies surrounding the project. In conclusion, the Zionist project in Kenya, though never materializing, reveals a complex chapter in history marked by geopolitical considerations, anti-Semitism, and conflicting interests. If you found this exploration intriguing, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into historical events. Until next time, stay curious.